So now let's start discussing the way the futurist interprets the book of Revelation or the Apocalypse. There are actually four different ways of interpreting the book of Revelation. So let's go through them quickly. First is the historicist view. The way they interpret the scriptures is they recognize its fulfillment in history, and also many of the events there are being fulfilled currently in history. So it has a window looking back in the past. They have a wider window kasi they look at the history and look back and interpret the book of Revelation in that broader or wider window. Pero as you can see, they still have some futuristic sense dun sa book of Revelation kasi para sa kanila the second coming is still future. So the next one is preterism. We already discussed the partial preterism and the full preterism last time. Compared, it's similar to historicist interpretation, except that it has a narrow window looking back into the past. Na yung narrow window na yun compared sa historicist is zoomed in or focused dun sa AD 70, na they believe na na-fulfill doon yung maraming events sa Book of Revelation, especially in AD 70. And some of them even think the second coming already was fulfilled, katulad ng mga full preterists. They see it symbolically, no, hindi visible return of Christ. They think it already happened in form of judgment when the Jews were judged, or the wrath of God was poured out upon them when the Roman army destroyed Jerusalem and the temple. So yan ang kaibahan ng preterist sa historicist. Historicists have a broader or wider window looking back into the past history. Yung preterist looks at a narrow window, focusing their lens on AD 70. Now the other one is what we're going to discuss today, the futurist. Para sa kanila, hindi lang second coming ang future, but also the millennium and the tribulation and the coming of the Antichrist. So they see, while those things were foreshadowed by past history, no, ibig sabihin nagkaroon ng something similar in the past, a pattern similar to what is going to the future. But most of the eschatological events for the futurists in the book of Revelation are deemed future. Yan yung futurist. And the last one is the idealist. Now they see what is written in the book of Revelation as symbolism that may not necessarily have a literal or actual fulfillment. No, but instead we see analogy of what is happening in the present, no, sa situation natin na nangyari dun sa book. No, it's a symbol of what's happening to us. But still, katulad ng historicists and partial preterists and futurists, they see the second coming of Christ will be fulfilled literally. So as you can see, kahit may apat na interpretation tayo sa book of Revelation, they all have some future eschatology in there, especially the second coming. But to summarize, the historicists have a wider window looking into the past. The preterists have a narrower window zooming in on AD 70. The futurists have a broader window looking towards the future fulfillment of the eschatological events. The idealistic seems like to have a 360 view, no, or wherever you go, whatever point of time you are, you will find some analogy to what is happening in your present situation na mababasa mo sa book of Revelation. So we're going to discuss the futurist interpretation and how they see the book of Revelation in their eschatological model. Now, sa Revelation 1:19, makikita natin doon maybe a combination of those different interpretation lens would be beneficial. Like, if we try to exegete the book of Revelation, being a historicist and a preterist would help us exegete it properly. Kasi the contexts are bound in the past. They have or the original audience lived in the past. So meron siyang past referent, meron siyang pinatutungkulan in the past. So to exegete it properly, we need to put on our historicist and preterist lens in reading the book of Revelation. But also we need to put on the idealist lens so that we will find relevance in our present situation. No? Something may have happened in the past in what we are reading in the book of Revelation that will be similar in our present situation, and then we can relate to it, and then we will find encouragement, because after all, John said he is a companion in the tribulation and in the kingdom that the brethren are suffering and looking forward to. So ganun din, even if you see it as in the futurist sense, no, something written in the story that will happen in the future, you may find relevance in your present kapag nakita mo yung similarity, and will give you encouragement as well. So itong combination na ito, putting on different lens, would be beneficial when reading and interpreting the book of Revelation. Nasabi rin dito sa verse 1 and verse 19, sabi nga niya dito, this is the revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave him to show his servants was what must soon take place. So it's a predictive, it has predictive element in it, in this book. And sabi dito, he made it known by sending his angel to his servant John. And then sabi ang instruction kay John, write therefore what you have seen. So what he has seen are vision, and what is now. So ibig sabihin yung present na nangyayari sa situation nila. So andyan yung we need that historicist lens and preterist lens to find out kuning what now na tinutukoy dyan sa book and what will take place later. So some of the events mentioned in the book may have happened immediately after it was written, so we need that historicist lens. And but it could be a prophecy that did not happen in their time but will happen in our future. So like I said, it would be beneficial if we interpret the book of Revelation in an eclectic manner, no, wearing different lenses at a time, and that I think would be most beneficial to anyone who would like to read the book of Revelation.